Hello, beautiful fellow human light beings. This is Mahadeva the Thunder Wizard. This is the Solar Flash update for July 5th, 2024. Major Ascension energy shifts in play. Dark Force elites are losing and have lost a huge energy battle against the light beings. Hello and welcome back. This is, in fact, the Thunder Wizard YouTube channel, the gathering place for all 5D starseeds and light workers. And so we had a very powerful live guided interdimensional meditation a couple of days ago. And that, of course, was on Wednesday. So every Wednesday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we have live guided interdimensional meditations to manifest the Solar Flash Ascension event. And in this last one, if you were there, you know, but my experience was that the energy was very powerful. It was very unique. And, I'm still, to be honest, I'm still recovering from it. So after those meditations, I had some visitations from some very powerful light beings who revealed some very interesting information, and I'm going to share that with you. For those of you, before I get into that, for those of you who are doing these meditations, and if you are having experiences, if you're not doing these meditations, here's what is possible could happen for you. Happens for, I would say, most people. Is that during the meditation you will have an experience. You might even feel some very intense energies. I call them jolts, and but that's what they feel like to me. They feel like jolts of very powerful electromagnetic, but they also have very intense emotional components to them. And I've never experienced anything like it until I started doing these interdimensional meditations. So if you've had those experiences and you've received communications, perhaps your dreams have begun to change. This is the kind of thing that happens when you start doing these meditations. If you are somebody that has gone through that, we have a live Zoom class and discussion group which you can be a part of if you go to thunderwizard.com and subscribe to the live Zoom discussion group class. And the benefit of that is that what ends up happening is you really start to doubt your own, in some cases you start to doubt your sanity. The reason for that is because the experiences themselves are not from the third dimension. They're higher dimensional experiences. And our human body and our human brain is not designed to process that. So what ends up happening is that, when our body and our brain interacts with something that doesn't understand, it just gaslights you out of it. Tells you that wasn't real, that didn't happen, you were just imagining it. So it can be very challenging. So the whole point of this is for people to come together and to share their experiences so that, you don't let your 3D brain gaslight you out of it. And it's been very empowering for me and very helpful for me. And so anyway, I invite you to come check that out. So let me get to, you were there for the meditation, so you probably remember better than I do. Lots of times I don't even remember what was done or what I was led to do. But we sent some very unique and powerful energies to Earth, healing energies especially. And so what ended up happening, the next day I needed to just relax. So I was just surfing and I wasn't really doing any work. I was just relaxing and recovering from that. And I believe today is Friday, so Thursday, so the day after, I received some very powerful communications from light beings, and they showed up in the middle of the day. It was, and I first what started happening is I started having a lot of intense emotions, like I found myself being very emotionally sensitive. And specifically, I started, I don't know, a lot of energy coming out of my heart, and being a little bit weepy, and I didn't know what was going on. And so I started getting some information and some communications from the light being, saying, we have really important news. You need to hear this. We want to talk to you. So, late afternoon, if I get light beings telling me they need to talk to me, that means I need to go into meditation. So I went into my bedroom, closed the door, shut the lights off, and I went into meditation. And the light beings said that we had accomplished, in our meditation, that we had accomplished a huge victory over the narcissistic elites. And I don't know exactly what that means. I just know that they were extremely, extremely excited. They were celebrating. So there was something that happened, and according to them, something that we did during that meditation that actually tipped the balance. And so I'm just reporting back to you what I experienced, which is that I was told that we had won. We had defeated them. I don't know what that means. I've learned that I don't become emotionally attached to the messages, because I've learned that things that happen in the fifth dimension don't always show up in the third dimension right away. So that's where I'm at. I mean, they were very adamant. We had defeated the Dark Force elites. We had accomplished a huge energy shift, and the flash is here. It's coming. The shift is here. The shift is coming. Everything's going to change. We're now moving into there was some very important, boundary that we crossed. I'm just sharing with you. As I've said, what I've learned to do in order to stay sane in all of this is I take them at face value, whatever it is that they say. Whatever it is they say about who I am in higher dimensions, whatever it is they say that we've accomplished, that what we've done is usually so grandiose and so over the top, it's very hard for us in the third dimension to accept it. So I've learned to accept whatever they tell me at face value, literally as possible, while simultaneously not becoming emotionally attached to any of the outcomes. As I said, I've learned that the reality of things, because what I'm saying is that what's happening in higher dimensions is the real world. We live in the illusion. We live in the video game. So the video game is lying to us about all kinds of things. And of course, the elites who are running the show, they're lying to us as well. But I think you can see, even if you just look at, one of the most, I've never seen anything like this in my life, what's happening politically here in the United States. I've never seen anything even come close to it. It is pure, absolute chaos. Nobody is running the show. We've got, but without taking any sides politically, it is clear to anybody that has eyes that Joe Biden is senile. And it doesn't, it's not an attack on him. I don't have anything personally against him. I might have some feelings about what's been going on with the government and all that, but, whatever. But he's obviously senile. And I think it has to do with multiple, because if you take a look at him in 2020, he was far more cogent. And now, if you compare how far his mental decline has gone over the past 4 years, and the coincidence of the multiple, it put two and two together. It's been happening all over. In any case, what's really interesting about that is that, after the debate with Trump, when he had a very, very senior moment. It was obvious, very senior moment, that now the powers that be are trying to get rid of him. And what's interesting is that the mainstream media, which is run by the Democratic, at the moment, which is run by the Democratic Party, and more specifically, not so much the party, but the donors, the billionaire donors behind the party, are running politics through the media. And so what the donors, the big, the money behind the government, the deep state wants. You can tell what they want because it'll come out in mainstream media. It's going to come out on CNN, MSNBC, the New York Times, things like that. They'll start telling the government what to do next. And so when you start seeing, in the news, that was just 2 weeks ago, Morning Joe saying that Biden is the best Biden we've ever had, and F you if you don't like it. Turning around and saying, now we have to get rid of him, we have to replace him. And it's and they're just showing now, it's there for everybody to see that the deep state is fighting with itself, and it can't accomplish anything directly. All of the things that we've been told about are completely coming out now. What people have been saying for years, and they've been punished for it. That's all turning out to be true, all of it. And so the whole narrative is completely falling apart. And then we've got energetically people beginning to wake up. So that's what we're seeing. And bear in mind, it's just like symptoms of a disease. The cause of the disease may be very deep and hard to see, but symptoms, when symptoms show up in the body, it means that the disease has been going on for a long time. So this means that the deep state, the powers that be, are completely losing control from the inside out. There's fighting amongst them. So if that's what we're seeing just with our three-dimensional eyes, then on a deeper level, on an energetic level, it means that their power is falling apart. They're completely losing it. I'm not attached to any of this. I'm not making any psychic predictions. I'm not telling you what I think is going to happen. I've learned to stop doing that a while ago. But that would certainly line up with what we're being told. So the light beings have made it very clear. And, both yesterday and last night, I got visitations, very, very powerful visitations that, that it's challenging to interact with beings of that power and to be connected to higher dimensions and then have to come back to your 3D body. My experience is that's a challenging experience, and I tend to go through a lot of negative ascension symptoms, where I start to feel anxiety, and I have all kinds of emotions all over the place, and start to, a lot of my internal narcissistic devaluation programming starts to come to the surface, and I have to be aware that, my brain looking for something to fight about with somebody over something, it has nothing to do with anything in my life. It's just a release of, the self-deprecation that we have been programmed to do to ourselves. So I'm having a lot of, ascension symptoms, releasing a bunch of the garbage. But I'm just, I'm rambling on, but I'm just sharing with you what I was told. And so if we focus on the positive, I believe that we really accomplished something in this most recent meditation. And so don't take your emotions too seriously. Make sure that you check with yourself if you're starting to look for people to fight with, if you're starting to feel, however it is that if you respond to ascension symptoms, whether it's depression or anger or anxiety or, however it is that you respond, check with yourself and take a look in your outside world and say, is there anything going on in my outside world that really is making me have these feelings? What is this about? And then continue to do the work. Continue to do the energy work. Very important. The 90-day challenge, if you're doing the 90-day challenge at thunderwizard.com, if you're doing any of the practices, if you're doing the Mao Shan practices, more and more people are starting to do the 5-element spirit fighting practices, and I'm getting a lot of really positive responses. So I encourage you to go check those out, which you can go to thunderwizard.com and check at the shop. People are doing more of the other things like summoning the immortals and all of those energy practices, as well as all the stuff that we're doing. So it's possible that now people are beginning to wake up and are going to start wanting to do more and more of these practices, more and more of these meditations. We are moving into quantum shifting, and a few of you, not a lot, a few of you have begun to move past the introductory quantum shifting level 1. I've got 3 videos so far, which you can find at thunderwizard.com at the shop. They're very affordably priced. If I see movement in that direction, more and more people purchasing those videos, then I'll know that there's more of a demand. I will finish the 7 video series. We get towards the end, there's an 11-step process that I go through, specific 11 things that I do to engage in quantum shifting, which is what I think is going to be necessary to shift into a higher frequency, which is erasing your hard drive. Erasing your 3D hard drive, erasing your past, and creating a new 5D past for yourself, which is, who you really are. Bear in mind, again, this third dimensional reality is a video game. Everything that you think is your life is a fictional character that you've created. So all of the stuff that, that we end up reacting to, all of the pain, all of the sadness, all of the, if you have money problems, you have success problems, if you have health problems, relationship problems, and you're struggling with all of that, and life is so hard, bear in mind that that all comes from a fictional character that you've created. I used to be a writer, and I used to be an actor, and so you have to, when you're playing a character, you have to do research into the character and find out what is the character's backstory, which means what happened to them as a kid. Why do they respond to life the way that they do? And so as an actor, it's real easy to see a character at the end. If it's a tragedy, that tragedy started all the way back into their childhood because they made certain decisions based on their experience and their reaction to stimuli, and it creates your past is also your playbook for how you choose to respond to life. And so everything that you experience in life is a result of the character that you have written. And so we have to completely erase that. We have to go back and create a completely different character. And so in quantum shifting, what it does is it brings you back to a place of zero where you can then, along with doing things like interdimensional meditation, you can remember who you were, who you actually are in a higher dimension, and make that who you truly are. And once you change that, once you shift into that quantum state, you can then have anything you want. So that's what we're moving towards here with quantum shifting. So you can check that out. The first one is free. You can find it at thunderwizard.com for free. You can also find it for free on the YouTube channel, Quantum Shifting #1. So again, if there's interest in that, I'm going to go ahead and put more energy into that. But yeah, it's all up to you, what you guys want. That's it for me. Yeah, to be honest, I'm still recovering from some of the crazy intense things that I was shown and told yesterday and last night. And so I'm gonna, we do have a live group today at, I believe, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, because this is the first Friday of the month. It's the first and third Fridays of every month. So we will have one of those for those of you who are, of course, you already know that. And I'm looking forward to hearing other people's experiences. So there it is, guys. If you want to support the channel, here's what you do. You subscribe, like, comment, hit the bell button, do the live interdimensional meditations as often as possible. Follow and like Path of the Thunder Wizard on Facebook. Share Thunder Wizard YouTube video links and Facebook posts on all of your social media. Subscribe to the thunderwizard.com Patreon site. And browse the thunderwizard.com shop for the advanced practices. Please remember that I do need your support to keep this channel going. Unless you want me to be that old guy at Walmart, if you'd want me to stay on this channel, then I need your support in all of those ways that I mentioned. Thank you so much. Please remember that you are the most important being that has ever existed, that you are the most beautiful, the most powerful being in existence, that the universe literally could not exist if it weren't for you. You are not expendable. You are the most valuable thing that anybody has ever seen. Your soul is the most beautiful thing any being has ever experienced. And please realize that if it weren't for you, this universe wouldn't exist. Everything in this universe was created solely for your personal enjoyment and pleasure. When you make the priority of your life your own personal happiness, joy, fulfillment, and bliss, all conscious beings evolve, and the gods themselves get on their knees and bow down and worship you. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't exist, so I thank you for my own existence, and I also bow down and worship your infinite soul essence. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Please take very good care of yourselves.